My son Damien and my daughter Precious at ForestDale is being given medication. My daughter Precious at the age of 4, and my son Damien Mcmillian at the age of 6. They've been given medication for mental illness, ADHD, and I don't think it's fair to them. They're a child. You should not be diagnosing them and putting them on medication for their behavior. It could be the food. It could be the atmosphere. There's more than one situation before taking actions into a child. It could be the abuse when they was in ACS care.
We want to make them pass the strongest civil rights bill they've ever passed, because we know it.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello, how are you? My name is Angel Mcmillian.
Okay, hi Angel. What borough do you live in?
I live in the Bronx, New York.
Okay, you live in the Bronx. Okay, why did you come to FPA Foundation today?
I came to FPA Foundation to get help as a parent, struggling when it comes down to ACS, being affected.
How long have you been dealing with the child welfare system?
I've been dealing with the child welfare system for 6 years now.
Okay, for 6 years you've been dealing with the child welfare system. Could you tell me what foster care agency are you dealing with?
Yes, I'm dealing with ForestDale Foster Care Agency in Queens, and I'm dealing with Catholic Guardian Society in Manhattan.
Okay, could you tell me how old are your children and how many children do you have?
Yes, I have a 11-year-old son. His name is Damien Mcmillian, and I have a 8-year-old daughter. Her name is Precious Mcmillian. They're at ForestDale Foster Care Agency, and I have a 3-year-old son. His name is Elijah Mcmillian. He's at Catholic Guardian Society, and he's 3.
Okay, as a parent dealing with the child welfare system, has your voice been heard with ForestDale Foster Care Agency?
No.
Could you tell me a little bit about that?
ForestDale Foster Care Agency, as a parent going to ForestDale Foster Care Agency, I have been insulted on more than one occasion. And when it comes down to ForestDale Foster Care Agency, the director, her name is Miss Reddy. She told me it's not her problem, I don't have an education, because I asked her to look over some information before giving it to me. And I asked her to correct it. She said it's not my problem that you don't have an education. She said it in front of a child. She said it in front of her staff. And as a parent, I asked to speak to the director, the president, and she told the staff not to give me that information. And I don't think that's fair to me. This is not the first time ForestDale insulted me as a parent.
As a parent dealing with ForestDale, do you feel that ForestDale caseworker has been working with you as a parent to try to reunify you back with your children?
No, I don't.
Does ForestDale give you copies of any documentation?
No. The only thing ForestDale may give me a copy of is the FTC. That's the only thing they may give me a copy of.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. The last time you spoke to ForestDale about trying to get any information, what did ForestDale tell you?
The last time I spoke to ForestDale, I spoke to Miss Hodnett, Elizabeth Hodnett. She's a supervisor. She's a new supervisor on my case. I spoke to her May the 29th. It was Friday. She called me. She returned my call. I've been trying to reach her for a month. She finally returned my call, and I asked her what was the status of my son Damien and my daughter Precious, and she said to me, Miss Mcmillian, I cannot speak to you. You need to speak to your attorney. I said, okay. I was told by the residents, my son Damien, that's 11, he was in the Henry Ellison Center, a residential group home. And I asked, he had a therapist there. Her name was Miss Tyler Cook. She was his therapist. And she told me to speak to ForestDale. So when I reached out to ForestDale and Miss Hodnett, Elizabeth Hodnett, supervisor, I asked her what was the status of my son Damien and my daughter Precious. She told me, I cannot give you any information and you need to speak to your attorney. I said, okay, well, I was told to speak to you. when it comes down to my children. She said, well, I cannot speak to you. You need to speak to your attorney. And I was told by Miss Reddy not to speak to you, not to give you any information. And I said, okay, why? She said, well, I can't tell you why. You just need to speak to your attorney. And I brought to Miss Hardness' attention, Elizabeth Hardness' attention, that I would like to bring some gifts to some ForestDale for my children, my son Damien and my daughter Precious. So my daughter's Precious' birthday is this Saturday, June the 6th. She'll be turning 9 years old. And she said, oh, well, I don't know. You could bring anything here to the agency. But I said, well, what day would you be here at ForestDale? So we can make a date and I can come. She said, well, I can't tell you, but I have to go. Somebody's at the door. I said, okay, no problem. Can you return my call and let me know your schedule? She said, oh, well, no, I can't. You know, you just need to speak to your attorney. So I said, all right, no problem. I'll just call you back on Monday. I called her today about maybe 11 o'clock this morning. I left a voice message on her phone. She did not return my call yet. But I expect to hear, this is how I treat it. They don't never return my calls. I leave voice messages. I go in person. I bring my children. I bring my son Damien clothes. I bring him hygiene. My daughter Precious too. I bring them books to read, notebooks for school. I'm doing my best. I'm a single parent. And ForestDale, working with me, they have never made it their business to try to even make an effort to reunite my family, to even look at my case, to even hear how I feel as a parent. And I don't think that's fair to me. I have a mental illness. My mental illness is depression. The reason why I became depressed is because I'm no longer living with my children are no longer living with me. And when it comes down to ForestDale, I was told that ACS is supposed to help me. ForestDale do have a social worker with housing, and they're supposed to help me. As a parent, they're supposed to give me assistance. And when I spoke to my case planner, they said, well, your children are up for adoption now, and because of that, we can't help you. But my children, I don't think that's fair.
Did you comply with your service plan? What did the agency ask you to do as a parent in order to try to get your children back?
The agency asked me to do parenting classes. They asked me to do drug treatment, and I completed it.
Did they ask you to take a psychiatric evaluation?
Yes, they did.
How many times have you taken a psychiatric evaluation?
I took evaluation in the family court for five times now.
Okay, so you took 5 times you took a psychiatric evaluation, and what was the outcome pertaining to those evaluations?
Well, the recent outcome was borderline mentally retarded, and the other diagnosis that they diagnosed me with.
Can't remember?
At this moment, no.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What was the diagnosis from your previous therapist that you was dealing with before you went to their doctors?
Well, the previous therapist that I went to, they said that I have a depression. This is normal because I don't have my children with me.
And they didn't diagnose you with any mental illness. They didn't say you were mentally retarded and you didn't have no other mental illnesses.
No. Well, my therapist, they did say the psychologist at that outpatient clinic, she did say that I was borderline mentally retarded, but there was no concern. My therapist said I am able to take care of my children. They don't have any kind of concerns. I'm fine.
Okay, did you share any other obstacles and challenges that you've been having with the family courts, or just obstacles in general as a parent trying to fight to get your children back?
Yes. Catholic Guardian Society asked that I do parenting classes. My son Elijah had a medical condition. He had a heart murmur and he had double thumbs, and he had a breathing problem. So the family court asked me to do CPR. I had my CPR license for 2 years, and I completed the parenting, and I was still doing the drug treatment. So they didn't have any more resources. No more referrals for me. When it comes down to the family court, I'm still in therapy. My medical condition, I have epilepsy. I take medication for seizures. I keep up with my appointments. My therapist I see on a weekly basis. Psychologically, I have a doctor that I see as an outpatient. We have an evaluation once or twice a year, depends. They don't have any concerns. They make it clear to me. They give me a report. My doctors give me a report of their concerns. They don't have any recommendation. They said I'm fine. Just because I have a depression, that doesn't mean I can't care for my children.
So as a parent dealing with the child welfare system, you feel like your voice has not been heard? Do you feel like you've been discriminated against?
Yes, I do.
Discriminated by who?
By the family court, by ACS, by foster care agencies. And when it comes down to the doctors, I feel like I have been discriminated as a citizen of the United States of America, and I feel like my children has been discriminated as well. I feel like there is no authority taking place when it comes down to me as a parent, working with the agency, working with the family court, working with the recommendation. They're not doing anything to help reunite my family. And the family court is not hearing my voice as a parent. Even if I do have an attorney, they're not giving me copies of anything that they're taking notes in.
Is your attorney preparing any type of arguments for your case? Is your attorney on your side?
No, I honestly don't think my attorney's on my side.
Okay, so your attorney is not helping you?
No.
Okay, so what message as a parent dealing with the child welfare system? I want you to tell the mayor, Bill de Blasio, I want you to tell the public advocate, Letitia James, the commissioner of ACS, Gladys Carry-On, this message also to the president. What would you like to share with them at this particular time? Do you think that the commissioner, Gladys Carry-On, what message would you like to share with her as well?
Gladys Carry-On, the commissioner, I would like to share with her that you may have children that are older, up in the age, but you're not a parent going through the system. And our children are not your children, so you can't speak on behalf of keeping our children safe. Because I've witnessed your behavior and being aggressive when speaking on behalf of our children in the family court. They're not working with you. You're supposed to work with us in reuniting our families. The best interest of the child is not your paycheck. No offense, but I believe that we parents should be given the opportunity and should be given another chance. It's not fair to us. You're not going through what we've been through. You don't have this type of experience, so you can't speak of what our children are going through when they're being separated from their parents. Like myself, that is taking a chance and making a change and making a difference in my life and helping my children by myself, taking good care of my children by myself. When it comes down to the President Obama, you need to fully investigate ACS. You need to have people fully detectives. See how these children are taking advantage. See what type of trauma these children are put in when they're in these residential group homes, when they're in these foster care homes. You need to physically make it your business to see exactly the details from A to Z. What exactly is going on? How many children are really being abused in the ACS care? Not just the parents, because you hold us parents responsible. You hold us accountable, but ACS care. There's a maximum of 47% of black children in the system labeled. That's not fair. This is the United States of America, the freedom of speech, freedom of own free will. If you're labeling a child already and they don't know the difference between right and wrong and they're learning, how are you going to just not take it serious and do it yourself and make actions yourself?
What would you like to tell the mayor, Bill de Blasio? What would you like him to do?
I would like Mayor de Blasio to fully investigate as well. You have a African American wife, and your wife spoke at NAMI's walk when it comes down to depression. I witnessed her speaking on behalf of how you recover from depression and what type of depression, what type of levels you go through in depression. She spoke on behalf of NAMI in the walk on May the 9th. If she could speak for us as people with depression and recovering and regaining, then you can represent and speak for us as a mayor working for New York State in the city. You have an African American wife, you have an African American children. You need to represent us as parents and you need to represent our children that are black, because our children do not deserve to be in an institution as a child. They do not deserve to be labeled, diagnosed as a child with a condition that they could fix.
What message would you like to share out there with other parents that are going through this situation just like you?
When it comes down to other parents, honestly, we need to come together. If we can't stay in each other's company, we can be stubborn. It's nothing wrong. Everybody has the mood swing, but we need to come together with numbers and not just with our voices, because our numbers stands just as strong. It's just as powerful. We need to come together in faith, because I know I'm a parent that's not alone, and I know FPA is making it their business to help me, and if they're making it their business to help me, they will make it their business to help you. And I know that they believe in us, even if we don't believe in ourselves, because I'm a parent that can speak for a fact, because I witnessed the might that they put into helping us. I witnessed the time that they take when helping us. We don't have to stay by ourselves. We can come together, and I know that you can come together whether you have a mental illness or not. Our children are the ones that's affected, and we want what's best for them, but it first starts with us, because we're their teacher, we're their moral, we're their role model. Everybody has their way of being addicted to some type of drug, but our children is they look up to us, and if I can do it, you can do it. We fall down, but we get up. Lean on me. Now we're parents. We need to be reliable and help each other. Don't give up, because your child will never give up on you.
Well, thank you for your time and coming in today.